day and is not grateful. I'm not one of those. I am grateful for every day that I live. I'm grateful for the miracle of sleeping and waking up. I'm grateful for the miracle of my voice. Good morning. It's a brand new Tuesday, and this is the Bumper Breakfast Show on MITV Plus. I'd like to welcome you to come join us. As we have breakfast. Let's have breakfast together. It's going to be a very, very, delicious three-course meal, if you ask me. And on the table this morning, I have Akin Fatunke. Akin, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. I am also very grateful for life, for the capacity to be here. Not only that, to also sit next to Vera, who I'm sure you are going to describe in very beautiful language. She looks very much like Doris Day. She looks very much like Shirley Bassey. The much more elderly who are listening to me will really understand.
I get you. I feel you.
Shirley Bassey looks very much like
woman to woman.
And vice versa. Oh.
Shirley
Yes,
Bassey did woman
yes.
to woman.
And she had one that says, "Kiss me, honey, kiss me."
This kind of
Hold
one.
me,
Honey.
hold me.
That's the image I'm seeing in my dear sister here. She looks gorgeous. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. God bless you.
Thank you. Appreciate.
Good morning, Vera. You're looking
Fantastimorious.
I love
Please,
your
good
hair-
morning, viewers.
I love your hairstyle. I like
really.
your makeup. You're just looking gorgeous this morning.
Praise God. Thank God for life. I want to say good morning to viewers at home. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to you. Thank you. I am not used to wearing something like this, so it's
Are
strange.
you actually wearing something, or is it your hair?
It's not my hair. It's a wig. Why does it's a wig? But thank
Well,
you.
it looks
Appreciate. Thank you so much. Well, it's a beautiful morning this morning on Tuesday, and we're about to serve you breakfast. But first, we're going to give you sweet tea this morning, hot one. It's going to be a hot one. We're going to take it together. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, so breaking news. Last night, the news broke that there was a fire outbreak at the Lagos International Airport, and that was a whole lot. Flights were diverted. They were rerouted. They couldn't land. I have someone who I was expecting to land about 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. last night, and he said to me he was on his way back to France. Unfortunately, and that was how I got to know about
What happened?
the fire incident. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened, but we understand. News reaches us that there's really been no death recorded, and we hope there will not be any death recorded. But there have been some casualties. I understand the figure went up to about 6 or thereabout. I don't know if there's an update on that story.
No update yet.
Do you have the story?
No
Are you
update
ready
yet.
to read the story
Um,
for us? But yeah, it's in the punch, so we can. Do you
Maybe
have
I have it here.
Okay, so if you
Let me
can
just
give us
take
read the
from
story
there.
for us, Vera.
Okay, let me just take it from here. Wow. Okay, let me just see if I can read this. 6 injured in Lagos air fire. A major outbreak at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport on Monday left 6 persons injured and forced a temporary closure of the airport's airspace, disrupting flight operation. The incident occurred at the control tower area of the Terminal 1, prompting an immediate activation of emergency response protocols. In a statement, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria confirmed that the firefighting, rescue, and safety teams were swiftly deployed to contain the fires and evacuate those affected. According to the authority, a crane was mobilized to support rescue operation at the control tower. All 14 people initially trapped in the facility were successfully rescued and safely evacuated. So it was 14 people that were actually trapped. And you can imagine the panic.
I can,
Imagine
they
the
were,
stampede
they were in the
again.
control tower.
Yeah.
And that's not a joke, I must tell you.
It's not funny.
A joke. They had to use cranes, to bring them out of the control tower. The bottom line is that they were safe. And I understand the minister was at the scene up until about 12 midnight. And when he left, he instructed that everything must be brought under control.
I must say that the emergency response was top notch.
Yeah.
You take that away. Ever before the minister arrived, the managing director of FAN was all over the place, assuring the public, assuring members of the families of the 6 injured, no fatalities like you have said. And I must say that for a public institution of that kind, for emergency response to be so swift and prompt, for the telecoms to have been able to shift in such ways and manners that even those who are injured, as I understand, have virtually been discharged. I think that is great news. That's something that we can all learn from. If it was a much more high rise, I am very, very sure with the little they've been able to do with this tower fire in the old terminal building, I must say that they have always been. I've also heard that this top notch, the guys moved and got up. Now this taught us investigation is still going to continue and lessons learned will and should be shared by all. God bless Nigeria.
Vera, what's your opinion?
Well, I like the fact that first the airport, that it's a standard one, so it's not a surprise.
It happened in Terminal 1.
One, yeah,
Terminal 1.
Terminal 1.
And
But I like the fact that people, it's a teamwork. If you have good team and you work in synergy, things like this, we just, that they don't come out well. And that's what we saw. We saw Nigerians coming together. I have a friend at the airport. I had to call her. What's happening? Hope you're safe. He said, no problem. But the way people just start running everywhere. And some other people also coming in to check what went wrong. I think it's risky when things like this happens. We should just stay where you are so that they can take care of what's happening. You don't have to come from wherever you're from and start rushing down to see what's happening there. What you needed to do is to just stay where you are, stay put so that they can fix things up. She said some people came in from God knows where when they heard it and start rushing. That can actually lead to death. We should know how to organize ourselves, but kudos to the fantastic team that worked yesterday. Yes.
Okay. Well, kudos to the team. Like you said, a fantastic team. Yeah. Response was quick. Response was swift. These are the things that we have hitherto, lacked in this country. And we're hoping that, from what has been displayed from this incident, that it's only going. There's only one way for it, to go, and that's to the top. We can only, we can only get better. We hope that we will, continue to get better. That came to me as a big shock when my friend said that he won't be able to land. Things happen, stuff happens, and we move on. It's still the Bumper Breakfast Show on MITV Plus, and a lot of things have been happening, so we're going to have to move on to some other thing, but not before we take a break on the program. So we will take a break right now, and when we return, we will be talking about something different.
one, two, three, four. Testing. Testing. One, two, three, four. Testing. One, two, three, four. Testing. 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 One, two, three, four. Testing. 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 Can you hear me? Testing. One, two, three, four. Testing. I'm talking. I'm talking.
You know that song? You don't know? Vera.
A rock is the time here.
Talk to me.
Eu produção. A bolo vem. Avec. Yes, now. Barura. I like it, honestly. I will check out today because I need fun for this. This will not really get me upset. Thank God it's 9 o'clock. When are we?
on the table, off the table, within the table, on top of the table, beside the table. It's been everywhere, and it's been on for decades. However, today the president says state police won't be delayed. Nigeria is out of the woods. That's coming from President Bola Tinubu. President Bola Tinubu on Monday that the establishment of state police to combat insecurity will not be postponed. He wrote speaking on an interfaith break-in of trust in local presidential government hall in Abuja, Tinubu assured Nigerians that his administration's promise to tackle insecurity through state policing remains on track. What I promise you will not be postponed. We will establish state police to combat insecurity, Tinubu stated during the event, which marked the first iftar of the 2026 Ramadan season. The president expressed optimism about Nigeria's economy trajectory, declaring that we are out of the woods, we are out of the dark tunnel of uncertainty. The economy is showing. Tinubu appealed to Kano State Governor about Abiru Yusuf to exercise restraint amid political in the state, saying, I am glad I see Abba from Kano, even though his path is red, it's not different from APC. Accommodate young party members. I will advise those in the same party with me to please bear in mind that those little ones too, they cry. Tolerate everybody. Let's see the young ones breathe too, he appealed. Tinubu commended Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum for his Ramadan outreach programs, describing the initiatives for both Muslim and Christians as a very, very good spirit. He said, I saw the layout of those Ramadan outreaches for both Christians and Muslims. It looks more robust. I thought you would eat all the 300,000 shares. The president said he had been receiving good progress reports and complaints from states, specifically referencing Niger State Governor Mohammed Bago, whom he referred to as my son, the farmer from Niger. There are a lot of complaints and commendations coming from all angles. They will come from me too, but as long as we bridge together and we move together and determined to rescue this country, the best is yet to come to Nigeria, he said. Well, the story continues, but that's the basic part that we needed to communicate, even though I'm reading from my phone and there's a lot of when you know how these adverts just come in and just move you and you from where you are, you don't even know. So all of those things, but the message is clear, and I hope you understand what the president is saying. It says state policing will no longer be delayed, it will come sooner than you expected. Akin Fatuke, I know that we have discussed this on the table many times before now. State policing, people have clamored for this, and here it is being presented to us. Very soon we will start state policing. Do you really think it's a welcome idea? Do you think it will help, when it comes to issues of insecurity? And how far do you think it will take us?
Thank you very much. My position about state police is legion on social and territorial media. And the reason why I have supported it is clearly a management, well-tested, well-honed principle, which says a leader must be decisive. A leader must go on irrespective of fears. But it will not be a leader if he or she does not take an action because of fear. So on the issue of the state police, there are pros and cons. But a leader goes ahead and takes a bold decision. One of the factors and dimensions that I've seen with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that I admire, I doff my hat for anytime, any day. But you know, for those who may not feel on this line of my trajectory, I'll refer them to Winston Churchill. At the height of it all, Winston Churchill will go a particular direction, and then things don't work in that particular direction. He changes his mind, and of course the media will come to him, but you said you are going to go on to the right. Why are you now on the left? And I remember his famous phraseology. Yes, I said so. Yes, I said I was going to go on that direction. I'm free to also change my mind if I feel that it's not up to it. Nigeria has had leaders upon leaders, I must confess. Maybe during their epoch, they looked at the environment and using emotional intelligence, they shrink back from taking very hard and harsh decisions, and then allow us to continue to drift down the hill. For me, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be taking easily the fourth boldest kind of reforms that any leader, whether military or civilian, will take. This is the third one. The first, of course, being so-called contentious, removing of fuel subsidy, issue of alignment of exchange rates, which everybody is saying now, but we are suffering about here and there, which is not untrue, but also a direction we must go through so that our children and our children's children can have a break. Now the state police, of course, the fourth one will be devolving power to the local governments. His promise is that it must happen. At my last count, major count, I have seen him say this about 5 or 6 different times, and he has continually encouraged and persuaded the state governors to be into, luckily, at the National Assembly, if you ask me, which is more likely to be a stumbling block. We have what I can call the majority pure APC, and as we speak now, maybe about 30 governors are looking in that direction. Even if you are hesitating that are we not going to get back into the wild west, will the governors now become teen gods on their own? We went that route before. Nigeria of 2026, Nigeria of 1960, Nigeria of 1963. Indeed, Nigeria of 1966 is slightly different, and a president should not be afraid that even if it went southwards, which doesn't work out well, he could lose elections. That is what I see in the whole of this. I will end by also saying something I've said elsewhere. Fortunately, unfortunately, that people say we are now having a one-party state. Everything is galvanizing towards one person. We had an election over the weekend for which people had boosted here and there, and the thing has swung along the direction of what we are likely to see in 2027. Now, it has a cost. The cost of that is not so much the fear. The fear can be there. It's a fait accompli in my own opinion. The opportunity costs of whatever it is that is happening on that direction is that, God forbid, I pray, but I'll tell you what's going to happen. We're going to have more kidnappings. We're going to have more bloodshed. There's no doubt about that. But I pray that I'm wrong.
Well, we're actually drifting away from the state policing thing. What do you think?
The state
I don't-
police, the state police must come now,
Yeah.
because, like I'm saying, we are going to have more kidnappings because politicians are losing elections, and usually when politicians lose elections, get set for this, and this is now the time. Mr. President, using the Muslim and a Christian breaking of fast together, I think it's a master stroke, and I think Nigerians should support it. I think publications should go ahead to state it, but I'll merely just highlight so that people will understand one of the reasons why I think it should happen, irrespective, is that more kidnappings are going to happen, more terrorism is going to happen, because it is likely to be an increase, because those who abet and sponsor it are losing elections, okay? And I say that with all sense of responsibility. So the earlier we proactively put in local state policing, the better for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Vera. There's something you wanted to say. Are you in agreement with that?
Yes, I in some extent.
To some extent.
To some extent. But state policing, I said yes, because remember in 2014 National Confab, it was discussed, and it was they said that will the solution that will address security challenges in Nigeria. And looking at the reforms, security reforms, this state policing is the state controlling their police, but federal oversight. So it's not that the federal government is going to turn their eyes away, but they allow the states to fund policing, which is key. Remember that these are electoral, these are people that knows their environment, their community. So when you get state security around amongst people that you know me, I know you, I think it makes it better. And looking at these reforms where there's going to be establishing a ministry for homeland security and the National Guard Force, this, for me, is the way to go. And it's been on for some time. It's not just today's thing, and the government, the president has said he was going to do it, and I think we should just go ahead with it. We have the Amatekons, we have the Neighbor Watch or Neighborhood Watch. They have a lot of security state policing forms or groups. I think they should put it to work. You can see the news again in Plateau, bandits killed 10 every time you hear of all of these things. The federal, the states can complement the federal, and it will make it work. I think that's the way to go. We shouldn't even keep stressing this thing. It's high time. We should just put it to work. I thought it was going to happen last year. We didn't see it happen. And these guys are terrorizing everybody. Election is around the bend. We can see what is happening. Politicians, some of them, I don't want to say all, I don't want to accuse everybody, because some of them can use, they can not just lose an election. You want to win an election. A lot of people use different touts, different people to win election. We see it happen. We have seen it happen in Lagos. We've seen it happen in Delta. We've seen it happen in other states. So, but when you have state policing, the state is financing it, and the community knows these people you are going to bring up. They might have one or two advice to tell you to say, this guy is not the kind of person you should bring here. And if anything is happening, they know their father, they know their mother, they know everybody around them. People will speak up. I think that's the way to go. We should just go with it. We shouldn't delay.
Okay, just go with it. Let's not delay. I think that, I agree with Vera as well. Akinfatoke, we're stronger together. Vera made a very valid point that, it's not as if the federal would not, they would do the, overseeing, of the state police, but the state police will understand, their communities and people who reside in these communities better than, the federal might, as it were. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that this will happen as soon as the president has said. Although there could be, some people could use the state police to their
Advantage, yeah.
especially during the elections. Just as Akifatuke said, that there will be a lot of kidnappings, there will be a lot of banditry and all of that. But at the same time, to every advantage, there may be a disadvantage.
Yes.
So let's just keep our fingers crossed that we as human beings will be able to, use the opportunity, if we're given the opportunity, to our fullest advantage, and we would not disabuse the opportunity once we're given the opportunity. All right, that's how much we'll be taking on state policing. Right now, we're moving to another topic, and it says most terrorists killing Nigerians are foreigners. And that's coming from the federal government. The federal government has insisted that many of the terrorists responsible for killing Nigerians are foreign nationals who infiltrated the country through its porous borders. Secretary of the Government of the Federation, George Akume, made this assertion on Sunday while addressing participants at the first plenary of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria held at St. Gabriel's Chaplaincy Catholic Secretariat in Nigeria, Abuja. Akume acknowledged that insecurity remains a major challenge in Nigeria, noting that the problem is not peculiar to the country alone. Insecurity is a problem not only to this country, but throughout the world. Even advanced countries are going through this, he said. He described the pattern of killings as tragic, and he stressed that the violence predates the current administration. According to him, intelligence reports indicate that many of those arrested in connection with recent attacks are not Nigerians. Well, coming from him, but I don't think there's anything else to read. He has said that most of the killings are coming from foreigners. Obviously, I mean, we have, from time to time discussed borders on this program, how porous our borders are, what can we do to ensure that, the people who shouldn't be here are not here. Akifatuke, certain measures have been taken time and time again, but you see, corruption eats so deep that it's just a matter of, legal tender exchanging hands, and the borders will be thrown open. How it happens, I don't know. But what do you think we can do, since it has been confirmed by the federal government through the spokesperson that Nigerians are being killed by foreigners? What do you think we should do?
What I think we should do is to come to some truth. And that truth, from what Akume has said, gladdens me. Okay? So it's not a matter of the ant that is eating up the vegetable. It's not coming from outside, it's from inside. Only that Mr. George Akume, with due respect, merely fell short of saying that the APC, as a political party, which is the same vehicle that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is riding on from his predecessor, has anticipated the issue of opening our borders. We should not run away from it, and use it as a political stool to go bring different people from elsewhere. Tom, you are asking, what should we do? First of all, let's come to that reality. Come to the reality that, yes, we caused it. It was caused by us. It's easy for you to continue to point fingers. I don't have a problem. And I'm not saying that if you look at the issue of insecurity, you can only put it in a particular epoch. We have been fumbling and stumbling all through, lying to ourselves. And then the predecessor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I must say, we don't speak ill of the dead. But I must say that his actions, his inactions, aided, abetted, looked the other side, while allegedly people that we call cousins, people that we call higher level from our tribe and kin, should be able to come and help us with elections, and then they virtually decide to turn against us. So the first thing is, okay, low-hanging fruit, come to terms. You have not done it well. You have not run it well. If you now then take a decision that, okay, now I want to take a 360 degrees turn around, yeah, you have to come in little patches. So, wherein comment your also moot point about corruption and that we are not being sincere, our governance structure, lying to ourselves that we are running a federation where we are not, elections, a battlefront here and there, and that we need more than enough money. I don't know where we're going to get that from to begin to, man and secure our porous borders. American boots are on Nigerian grounds today. Starting with the Sokoto bombing, Christian genocide or Muslim genocide. Just mention it. They are just mere appendage of some of the things that has gone and eaten into the fabrics of our society. So first thing first, let us have local police, and by local police, the state governors are going to be in full charge. You are not going to be pressing a button for the center to now take decisions. Secondly, and thirdly, and fourthly, and finally, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria must be restructured. Nigeria cannot continue to say that we are non-negotiable. We must negotiate Nigeria. QED. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Akibasuke. Vera, we need to watch the time because we have a lot of topics we want to touch on today. Okay, so let's hear from you before we move.
Okay,
to
briefly,
the next
so we move to the next one.
Yes.
Well, Akume said something very interesting. He said, he emphasized that, well, we have these extremist groups like Boko Haram and the rest operating, many attacking, operating through our forests and our borderlines, our communities. He also said that we shouldn't fail to remember that these guys comes in and attack and go out. But they don't speak Hausa, the real Hausa. They don't speak. They don't speak. They're not fluent in Fulani in Hausa, and he said that they don't speak English. They speak French. So if these people coming in to speak French, it means they're not from us. But they cannot enter and operate without some persons within our communities also giving them the lead. And so for me, I think now we know the challenges. We all know the challenges. We should fix it.
Really and truly, we didn't know the challenges before he said it.
I don't know, but we should just fix
we
that
knew
as
the
well.
challenges. We are
It has been
eyes
confirmed.
open.
It has
We
been-
allowed
it
it.
has
We
been
allowed it to
confirmed.
happen.
I think we're the one that's allowed these guys comes in to do whatever they want to go out.
Precisely.
But we should just fix it. We know the people. He said the people they've got so far, don't speak English. They don't speak. So you got some people. You should investigate and do the
They are
needful.
from the Sahel, of course. And then
Investigate and do the needful. I think that's the bottom line, really. If you investigate and do the needful and tell us what you've done and we see what you've done, we will applaud you. But you keep telling us stories every day, one thing or the other. We're not moving forward. It's not
Very
impressive.
cliche.
Unfortunately, you don't get any applause. It's a no. That's how we look at it. It's a no. So, all right, that's the much we'll take. Let's look at the next story. El Rufai sues ICPC. Over unlawful Abuja home invasion. Like I said, this internet stuff just does what it wants to do. Okay, I'll take that topic again. It says it's disappeared. El Rufai sues ICPC 1 billion naira over unlawful Abuja home invasion. And a former Kaduna State Governor, Nasser El Rufai, has filed a 1 billion naira fundamental rights reinforcement suit. against the independent corrupt practices and other related offences commission over the alleged unlawful invasion and search of the Abuja residence. In his suit marked FHC ABJCS 345/2026 and filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja on February 20th by his counsel Oluwole Yamu SAN. El-Rufai is challenging the validity of the search warrant issued on February 4th by a chief magistrate of the Federal Capital Territory Magistrates Court. He is asking the court to declare the warrant authorized. He's asking the court to declare the warrant
Unauthorized.
Unauthorized.
no, not unauthorized, authorizing the search.
Unlawful. Unlawful.
No. This thing is flickering, it's going in and out.
Okay.
But what I see here is he's asking the court to declare the warrant authorizing the search and seizure at the residence invalid, null, and void. According to the application, the former governor contended that the warrant was null and void for lack of particularity, material drafting errors, ambiguity in execution parameters, overbreadth, and absence of probable cause, thereby constituting an unlawful and unreasonable search in violation of Section 37 of the Constitution. El-Rufai listed the ICPC as the first respondent, while the Chief Magistrate of the FCT Magistrates Court, Abuja Magisterial District, the Inspector General of Police, and the Attorney General of the Federation were named as second to fourth respondents, respectively. He is seeking 7 reliefs, including a declaration that the invasion and search of his residence at House 12, Mambila Street, Aso Drive, Abuja, on February 19th at about 2 p.m. allegedly carried out by operatives of the ICPC and the Nigerian police force under the disrupted warrant violated his fundamental rights. Specifically, he asked the court to declare that the search amounts to a gross violation of the applicant's fundamental rights to dignity of the human person, personal liberty, fair hearing, and privacy under sections 34, 35, 36, and 37 of the Constitution. He further urged the court to declare that any evidence obtained pursuant to the aforesaid invalid warrants and unlawful search is indismissible in any proceedings against the applicant as it was produced in breach of constitutional safeguards. I'll just stop the story there because it just keeps flickering, adverts keep coming in. I'll just stop the story there, but the main thing we know is that El-Rufai sues ICPC 1 billion naira over unlawful Abuja home invasion. Akin Fatuke, this is on the table for you to dissect in a couple of minutes, just a few minutes. What's your opinion about this suit?
Within his fundamental rights to sue any institution or anybody, that is the rule of law, as far as I'm concerned. And some of the things that you read out there shakes me a little bit. It shakes me in saying that there was a warrant that was given by a magistrate, and the magistrate thought lacks the the legality to be able to do that, and that the writ of warrant was poorly written, and what have you, and so many other things. So I'll allow the courts to decide. I don't want to go foul against normal legal procedures. But my opinion is that a number of the things that my dear friend and brother El-Rufai, yes. My friend and brother, because we attended, I've always said it, we attended State University, and I believe that he's quite a very brilliant chap, even though shifty. Quite a number of things have indicated the fact that he's never, he's never constant to a particular cause. And I was wondering, when Daidata was abducted, when the doctor and the wife were abducted in front of their homes and they were never seen again, were those fundamental rights with those people that up till next tomorrow don't know where they are about? It's so ironical in my view. And amongst the sophists of charges that he's facing, which are quite very deep, including wiretapping of security advisors and what have you. So for me, I like to maintain the fact that the rule of law is there. If he feels that the warrant should not have come from the magistrate, should have come from the High Court or elsewhere, the court will make and take a determination. Well, like they say, the sword of Damocles swings upwards. Swing it, cut other people's heads, but remember that same sword has a way of turning back. And when your own neck is going to put on the guillotine, the lady law will be blindfolded. Time and time again, whereby we are untangling the rough edges of our security and terrorism, non-state actors coming into being, which I mentioned earlier. The time is now getting here. Thank you.
Vera, for you, what is it? What's your opinion?
Well, for me, I think it's the law, it's the courts that would decide if ICPC's actions were lawful, for me. But looking at it, the way this is going, question one will ask, was the search warrant valid? That's another one. If it was valid, why sue? If some people will say, if your hands are clean, why panic? But a lot of people will want to go through the courts to say, no, you don't have rights, but it's the courts that will determine that. One again, is his rights being protected? Is his right being protected? All of these things are this matter. Some school of thought, it's out there right now feeling that maybe because he dropped into a phone call issues, or maybe something happened, or maybe they just want to punish him. People are doing their work. If you are truly doing your work, if it's right, but I know that magistrate court has also have right for warrant. But if you look at the Constitution, it says the right they have, it's under some conditions. So we don't know if the condition is what they use in, searching his house. It might be. But all of these things we cannot talk extensively because we need a legal practitioner to tell us what it is. But I know that they have some certain rights, and it's under some conditions that they can search, give a warrant, and they are free to give warrant. So we're waiting for the courts to let us know if it were lawful. If it's not, we also want to see, because this is like a litmus test for lots of people to know if we are genuinely serious or not.
Well, I've always said Nigeria is a state. The court is free to do what they want, within, the stipulation of the law. Also, El-Rufai is free to go to higher court if he wants. But what is sure is that things will unfold in the days, the weeks, and the months to come. And we on the Bumper Breakfast table, we're keeping our eyes wide open. Wide open. All right, time for us to move on. Sell 51% stake in NPCL refineries, Pengasan urges federal government. So much is happening, really. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria on Sunday renewed its call for the federal government to divest majority shares in the nation's state-owned refineries, urging authorities to adopt the Nigerian NLG model by selling at least 51% equity to core investors. Under this arrangement, the government would retain a minority stake while selling a majority shareholding to core investors. The national president of Pengasan and the Trade Union Congress, Festus Osifo, made the recommendation when he featured as a guest on Politics Today on one of the local national television stations. Osifo said the union had consistently canvassed partial privatization of the refineries over the past 2 decades, insisting that government ownership structure had hindered efficacy and efficiency of the commercial viability. He said, we have also always advocated in Pengasan in the last 20 years that the government should bring about the NLNG model in the refinery. And what is that? The government should take a minority stake in the refinery and sell the majority stake. At least the government should sell the minimum of 51% to investors, and these investors should be refiners. They shouldn't just be portfolio investors or politicians or friends of the political class. But sell at least 51% of the refinery, you sell it to refiners. So we are not against the government selling a majority stake in the refinery. That is what we have advocated in recent years. If you check the NLNG model, it has worked. A combination of ENI, Total Energy, and Shell has 51% in NLNG. According to the union, divesting major shares to private refiners would depoliticize refinery management, encourage fresh investment, and promote profitability. Well, the story goes on, but the point is, let's give out 51% shares and have this thing work. Have it up and running, and all the tabishumos, what I'm saying, will not be there. Akipatuke, what do you think?
I saw him shaking.
Because that's really his area of core competence. He's coming from.
I laugh in full day. Yes. Again, let's start from the positive. Victor Osifo, good that you are now coming to terms to say we should go that direction. But for quite a number of us who are still alive, we know that your predecessors in office didn't toe this line. They never toe this line, and then the horse has bolted away from the ban. I am going to be very frank with you. We were at this stage when President Obasanjo was leaving, and he virtually sold the refineries. The labor unions came up, all the others came up and thwarted that effort of Dangote and Otedola. Money had been paid. ExxonMobil, where I worked for, Rex Tillerson, who was the first Secretary of State to Donald Trump during his first coming, came to Nigeria, and the idea was, come on, let's go ahead and then sell. And then, no, you can't sell our national asset. And what have you? Again, time will not permit me, that is history. There's absolutely no problem with the prescription I gave about, somebody saying, yes, you should not, and now you suddenly say you should. State policing, we should not, yes, we should, and all that. But let's be fact and factual. Why I said the horse has bolted away from the bull? So, the truth is that if you want to sell something, then do something of substance. As at the time when this should have been done, And Nigeria should have taken a turn around. Our refineries were sitting on a bed of oil. What that means is that the ExxonMobils of this world, the Shells of this world, just name them, we have to do a lot of remediation. They were ready to bring in their money. The thing has gone, has gone carcass. It's gone from brand new car to Tokumbo to Aloku and so many other things.
All right,
And
so
the way it is now, Dangote has since learned from there, has gone to do what he needs to do. What I expect, the labor unions is, like I said about the federal government, raise your hand. Yes, we told the wrong line, but we must not do anything. Repeat, not do anything to sabotage an effort of Dangote. Yeah, we should have competition of Dangote, but those refineries are sitting on a bed of oil. Whoever is going to buy, let me just throw this in. When Restlessing came, do you know what he told Obasanjo? We are thinking that they will bring him money and say, look, the thing is at zero value. We will bring our money to come and everybody had that. I want to sell our things and all that kind of stuff. Should we not have sold at that time and inject money?
okay, so the point you're making is that we should have done this long ago. We didn't do it. The value has since depreciated, and it may not work.
Well, I don't think you are going to get any serious-minded private sector to come and maybe the only thing you can do is call Tom and Vera and ask them that you are not going to pay anything. Please go and buy this over and go and look for somebody that might wish to bring their money into a country where you have all the kind of security issues that we have. God bless. I'm not being pessimistic, but I'm only just being realistic. We will not have eaten our cake and then say we have to.
It's not a bad. But this is just coming. We don't have a lot of time, but I really need to talk. It's an opportunity. I don't want to advertise Dangote. I was with the executive director, some journalists. We went there last week. We were on a tour to Dangote refinery. For me, I'm looking for an opportunity where I will talk more on this. It's so sad that we have placed ourselves this way. Dangote standards of fuel, it's about Euro 5 standards, and that's making him or making Nigeria one of the biggest in the world soon. I don't know if you say they want to sell at this point. You know that if you have a car and it's not being put to use for a long time,
there's no engine.
There's no engine. It's just going to be, you're selling off, I don't know if it's the part.
They call it carcass.
The carcass. And I don't know if those things are, even if you have carcass there, you don't even know if there's anything there. But I think at this point, Mr. Factuse said something that we shouldn't now use it against Dangote. 2 hours, you want to tour that place, it takes 2 hours. They're doing what they say. They said their own fuel, will be beneficiary to people's health and environment. It means that they put people in mind. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to advertise. That's
are you advertising?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Answering this question?
I'm not. But what I think we should do is, people that want to sell, if at all, they should go and look at it. If you have something to sell, if there's still something to sell there.
Okay.
But we should just, if you want to do, you can't get your own refinery. We should just start all over. For me.
All right,
I think we should just start all over.
Right now, at this point, we should be taking a break to come back to do a newspaper review, but we're not going to take that break. We're just going to go straight into the papers, look at what they have to say, look at their headlines, and see how we can wrap it all up at once. Okay. All right, I'm going to be starting with the Punch newspaper. Above the nameplate, it says, fresh loans, federal government domestic debt jumps to 77 trillion naira. And the rider is 11 states, federal capital territory, borrow 373 billion naira in 9 months, despite higher allocation. Convention, APC may settle for Yilwatda, and this is coming from Bashiru. The banner headline of the Punch newspaper says, all oil revenue raw. Presidency defends Tinubu as legal titans split over executive order. The riders are Petroleum Industry Act violates Nigerian constitution, says presidency. NBA ups back Tinubu as critics push against oil revenue reforms. Sons divide over president's directive. Those are all riders from the banner headline. Lagos International Airport inferno grounds passengers and sparks travel chaos. Well, we talked about that earlier on the program. Genco's dump presidency's 2.8 trillion naira debt deal. Truck crashes LASMA officer and 2 motorcyclists to death. Oh my. That's quite unfortunate. May their souls rest in perfect peace, and I hope they got the truck driver who usually would abscond. And finally, from the Punch newspaper, FCT polls, ADC candidates obedient reject results. So that's from the Punch newspaper. We're going to take a look at the Nation newspaper. Vera.
Moving away from the Punch this morning, straight to the Nation's release of 7.2 trillion capital component of budget 2025 begins. Executive order on oil, gas remittances into federal account lawful. BRT fare to go up by 13%. State police can't wait, Tinubu tells governors. 6 injured, flight diverted as fire Gov MRI terminal. And, okay, I think I need to read this. The state police can't wait, Tinubu tells governor. But let me read this. We are out of the woods. We are out of dark tunnel of uncertainty. The economy is showing up. Let's help those unemployed. That's all for the Nation newspaper this morning. Moving away, let me take the Tribune. Nigeria Tribune. Ginsco's cries out, lament 6.2 trillion debts. We will establish state police. Tinubu's reaffirms Nigerians. Says Nigeria out of the woods. That you get that on page 2. Lagos airport fire, 6 injured, 14 trapped persons rescued. And the writer says, infamous stated from server's room. We move away from that. Okay, this is very interesting. Lead explosion. Ogun screen 500 Ogijo's residents. Executive Order 9 aligns with the Constitution. Doesn't amend PIA, DG, Budget Office. And we have this. El Rufai files 1 billion suits against ICPC. Others. Bandits kill 10 in Plateau. This writer says Bauchi villagers flew to Gombe. Adamawa. GOC escape ambush in Kebbi. Troops kill 5, recover arms. We have operator of Plateau mining sites were released after I left office mine. Also reopened. That's Fayemi, ex-minister of solid minerals. That's all about the National Tribune this morning.
And finally, from the Guardian newspaper, election campaign spending to stress test CBN's Naira inflation grip. Agbakogba Lord's Tinubu's executive order says it will aid fiscal sovereignty. U.S. Treasury official in Abuja as federal government sources bicker over ransom payment. 40% lack access to indigenous language education globally. Is that the problem right now? Sit at home, Soludo shuts another market in Newi. Enugu fixes 150 million naira mandatory advert permit for 2026-2027 elections. Futility of building futility of building $1 trillion GDP on hustle economy. Is the economy a hustle economy?
It's real hustle one. Real hustling.
That's great. It's a funny one. Amnesty demands end to killings, accountability as death toll rises. And well, that's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper right now. It's time for us to say our goodbyes on the Bumper Breakfast Show. It's really been a rush thing today because we started late due to technical problems. However, we will round up properly and we'll give the the table, the floor, not the table, to Akin Fatuke.
Thank you to the Okonla ones on the set. I'd like to say thank you very much for having me here. Thank you very much to our listeners and those who are viewing us. We don't claim we know it all. I'm sure you have your views which you can also share and can also learn. But beyond it all, Nigeria will survive. Thank you.
Nigeria will definitely survive. We don't have option. You have to have that mentality that you will survive. I am Vera Osukwa. I'll be seeing you again tomorrow.
My name is Tom Aderile. Cameras, you better come on me because I'm rushing this thing right now. All right, my name is Tom Aderile. Thank you for watching the program. Thank you for being there, having breakfast with us. I'll see you again on Thursday morning on the Bumper Breakfast Show by the grace of God. God bless you. Thank you for watching.
Amanda, what's going on here? Why do you have your things scattered all over the place? Your slippers on my bed? How much would I give you for a night?
Are you mad?
Esther, you know they even they lock your door. Okay!
You're a thief.
Mother weapon! Follow me!
Now that Victoria friend will get big front and back. So I started look, they go. I just hear.
The remaining 2 minutes, not for you.
Because I'm showing you money. Calm down. You should have thought about that before going to buy a phone that you cannot afford.
I will bite you if I not giving me my money be lightness. But this is okay.
I like the way you say Vicky. I even like the way you go Vicky. I did it again. Vicky.
Face to face is another way of life for this country.
You called my husband Mr. Ajayi.
Yes.
No more tears, Auntie Fiona.